Hi, I'm Liz Gaffney, and I'm so pleased to be with you today to talk about intentional play, what it is, how it works, and what role it plays in our children's lifelong learning. For this video, we are highlighting 5 features of intentional play to help you better understand and to represent our work in this area. Today we will look at play planning, executive functioning, oral language development, STEM and specials, and scenario development. All of these, plus more, are intentionally designed to give children ownership and confidence in their choices while giving them the flexibility to play as they wish. Meanwhile, our teachers are on hand to gently guide their play in order to incorporate specific learning elements. The best part? Our children are learning without even realizing it. It is truly magical. So let's take a look at how this magic unfolds in our classrooms.
We are very excited to be bringing play back into our curriculum, and I am very excited to be on the pilot committee that is helping to make that happen. One of the things that I have found to be most impactful with play is the planning process, and we're doing something right now called play planning. When my students meet with their partner to make a play plan, one of the first things that they do is they draw a picture of what their play is going to look like. And then as a team, they come up with a sentence to describe what this is going to look like. So this involves students coming up with some words and then counting out the words in that sentence. This has really helped their writing become stronger and a little bit more fluent even. From the play plans, later on in the day when the students get a chance to use them, they open those books again, and now they have to go back and read what they wrote, which is not always easy. But they're able to do that because they have the picture that they drew to help them. So once play starts, the play plan books are opened and they kind of use that to guide what they do. And it's really kind of great to watch because sometimes students will change their minds when they're in their centers and they'll refer back to their play plan and make adjustments. And you can see that reflected in their writing as well. It's very exciting. There's so many great things that come out of this. Problem solving, conflict resolution, it's wonderful.
Oh, play is such a joyful time for children. It is their work. Play is a time for freedom and a time for children to practice their skills. It really develops their executive function. Executive function is things like their working memory, which we all need to work on. It is their cognitive flexibility. Maybe a center isn't open and they have to choose a second center, plan B or plan C. They might have to not be able to play with a friend, or maybe a toy is not available. And they have to be flexible and cope with that. I'm so happy that Milford is focusing on play so much more. Play is fostering much more independence and risk-taking and problem-solving, which is something children have needed for all time. It is important that they have this freedom and time to have autonomy and their own agency. So much of a school day is thrust upon them. They ride the bus, there's a time, there's a thing to do, a place, there's a skill to work on. And during play, they get to practice those skills, and a lot of them are social and emotional, and a lot of them are cognitive, and they work on the executive functions. Play is children's work. It's a wonderful experience, and I invite everybody in to see it.
So within the 6 to 8 week theme that we've been working on with Antarctica and leading into ships, We've had multiple opportunities as teachers to introduce our learning. So through oral language, we're introducing vocabulary, we're introducing hands-on activities, we're introducing songs. So one example of how we do this is through a morning message. And we do a morning message every day where it starts with some drawing. So I will draw figures, shapes, and the students will call out what they think it is.
The stern is the, what part of the boat? The back. So this is the stern.
We are currently working on an Antarctica theme, and what was really exciting was it started learning about penguins and icebergs and glaciers, and the students took their own agency. And they showed a huge interest in boats and how can you get from the United States to Antarctica. So we started looking into boats, started looking into icebreakers and other ships.
Icebreaker! Icebreaker!
We've been doing our intentional play out on the playground. So we've been pretending that the playscape is a boat. So students will take on roles. So yesterday, without any prompting, I'm watching the students during recess, and a group of 5 students are playing ship. And the students were so excited about their learning that they continued this game during recess.
Preschool's learning about concepts and skills through play. The kids learn the best when they're playing in a natural environment, in a natural setting. So when we go to our specialists and when we go to our STEM class, if we can incorporate play into the learning, the children do so much better. When they get into the STEM room and she asks them questions about structures and what an engineer and what a scientist is, they already have that foundation and they're able to then incorporate it into the STEM class or into PE or library or art. And it's amazing to see the growth in the children as they learn through play.
What I want you to create is a big structure or a building so that this dinosaur can sit on top of that building without falling off. And I don't want you to just create a very small structure. I want you to build the tallest one that you can without falling over.
Our preschools are a language-based program, so we're constantly giving the children language and ways to ask questions and ways to respond to questions more appropriately. So that way, again, when they get into different areas, they're able to ask the questions, they're able to answer questions because they're not just answering yes and no. They're learning to expand their vocabulary, they're learning to expand just listening skills. And for example, when we went into the STEM class today and our STEM teacher, Ms. Cragen, asked about scientists and engineers and structure, those vocabulary words were already introduced previously to the children, and they just needed to recall those words and what their meanings were and how it pertains to science and engineering. But they are, again, it's that foundation we're giving them so that they feel successful and they enjoy the learning and it's fun for them, and it just makes it a more positive experience overall.
So one part of intentional play is play scenarios, and they're really fun. It gives the students an authentic experience, a way to learn concepts and really dig deep into their learning through play. This is my 3rd scenario now with this class. We started with our weather station. We went on to a Big Y grocery store, and now here we are at the racetrack. We begin our scenarios with brainstorming with the children, and they really come up with the different roles that should be in the scenario. With our racetrack, we have car drivers, mechanics, people that will be working at the snack stand,
people that we will be working in the pit crew, the audience, person that waves the flag. So they came up with all of that. We built a little background experience through literature and through some virtual field trips to a racetrack and to a mechanic shop and different things like that, car dealership. And then we started thinking about what roles would be in there, and the children, they'll choose the role for the scenario. Right now we're just starting, so our two roles are the salesperson and the customer. And they'll tell me in a complete sentence, I want to be a customer. So they'll put their little tag on, and then they'll take on that role, and they'll develop their vocabulary, they'll problem solve with other people in the scenario. So this is part of our scenario. We have our car dealership. We have so far 2 race cars on sale here. The students got together in groups and they decided what colors to use for the cars. They decided what number. This car is car number 100. They decided to put a lightning bolt on the side. This group of friends, they decided they wanted to make really cool tires, so they cut out some triangles for their tires. And they wanted a spoiler on the back. This one added a little steering wheel inside. So the salesperson, the role of the salesperson will be to tell the customer, the other role, what they have for sale here at the car dealership. The features of the car, they'll tell them how much money it is. So far we have a gas pump in there. The children, we looked at some pictures of gas pumps. The families know that we're doing this scenario, so when they go to the gas station, they're looking to see what exactly is on a gas pump. You know, it just keeps building and building and building. A lot of fun.